Hello, and welcome to Vtiger's CRM tour for Customer Service Manager. My name is Josh Rich, and I'm a Customer Success Specialist here at Vtiger. So today I'm excited to show you some of the tools and features in Vtiger's CRM that customer service managers can use to define a clear flow in your support process, gain clear insights into your reps' performances, and ensure that your support teams are resolving customer issues quickly. Ultimately, increasing customer retention and happiness as we give you a CRM tour for a customer service manager using Vtiger. So I want to start off by briefly going over the agenda. So this webinar is going to be split into two sections. In the first section, I'll be running through some slides that will show you how Vtiger helps customer service managers define a clear flow in your support process and some of the advantages of using Vtiger's CRM for your organization. We'll also be covering some key features that will benefit customer service managers as you organize and manage your support team's processes. The second section will be a live demo where I'll be running through a scenario of a customer service manager starting their day by logging into Vtiger, reviewing their dashboard, configuring business hours and assigning them to a user, editing and configuring SLA policies, alerts, and escalations. And then after that, I'm going to focus on the cases module, where we're going to dive in deep and perform a wide range of various activities that a customer service manager will find very useful as they keep their teams organized and on track. So I'll go into that in a little more detail right before the demo starts, but let's get started with some slides. So defining a clear flow in your support process is an important first step when setting up your CRM for your support teams. So managers can define the case stages from new to resolved, define case priority statuses, define first response and resolution time SLAs, set up assignment rules to automatically assign cases to agents, and set and assign business hours for your support team. This will ensure that you set clear expectations for your support team and everyone is following the same process from the minute a case is created through to its resolution. So next I want to show you some customer service manager advantages while using Vtiger. So some of the customer service manager advantages are that you'll be able to view customer feedback in cases and chats. You'll get insights to spot and remove bottlenecks. You set and assign business hours for your support teams and reduce support load by using AnswerBot and automation. So let's take a look at some of these advantages visually as we look at what these advantages look like in the CRM. So the first one here is we are viewing customer feedback in a case. So this is a screenshot of a case in summary view. And we can see here who the case is assigned to, the contact that's related to the case or that the issue is revolving around. And we can see up in the right-hand corner that this case is set to resolved. So when a rep sets a case to resolved, it's going to automatically trigger a survey to go out to Ernie here, the contact who's associated with this case. And it's going to allow them to provide their feedback. So you can see here that Ernie has left some feedback. It's some positive feedback as well. So this is good not only for a customer service manager, but also for the reps handling cases, as they'll be able to view this themselves and get real insight into their performance and ways that they can improve on it. Next, we have some ready insights. Here we are viewing customer satisfaction against SLA fulfillment rate. So we have the total count here on the left of total count of cases, and on the right we have our average resolution time in hours. And so the different colored lines are SLAs that have been fulfilled, that have been violated, escalated, also positive surveys, neutral surveys, and negative surveys, reopens, and then again the resolution time up here on the top. So again, this gives you quick insight into SLAs that have been fulfilled with cases and how long it took to resolve those cases once created. So just by quickly viewing this, we can see that Enzo, this representative here, he's handled a lot of cases and he actually has a shorter resolution time than the other two representatives here. So again, for a customer service manager, this just gives you really quick insight into who's performing well and what might need your attention. Next, we have some more ready insights. So these are SLA key metrics. So we can see violated cases here based on their priority status. We can see we have 44 high cases and 21 urgent cases that have been violated. We can also see SLAs due in, so that we have one SLA that's due in an hour, and then our unsolved cases as well, where we can see the priority status as well and which priority status is sort of leading the way. So we can see there's a lot of high cases that haven't been solved yet, with a few urgent cases and even less medium and low cases. So again, just really quick insight into the metrics involved with case resolution. Next, we have help desk chat insights. So we can see the total number of responded conversations, total number of missed conversations, the total chat duration, chat rating, and the average response time as well. So just by quickly viewing this here, you'll be able to locate any bottlenecks and see any issues that are happening. So just by viewing this quickly, we can see that between December 31st or January 1st through January 3rd, there weren't that many cases that came in, but you know, we can see that a lot of cases have been missed. So we can see the purple denotes cases that were handled and the red denotes cases that were missed. So we can quickly identify that there's something going on there that might need our attention to look at and resolve on our end. Next, we have configuring business hours. So we can assign operational time zones. We can set these as default business hours. We can assign the working days. So here we have Monday through Friday with our working hours from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So pretty standard work day with a lunch break from 12 to 1. We can also add any working days or add holidays as well. So by assigning business hours to your customer service reps, you can really dial in on your SLA policies and keep them accurate. So for example, if a case that's due in 4 hours is assigned to an agent on a Sunday morning, and that agent is not scheduled to work on a Sunday, but they are on Monday, the clock won't start ticking on the SLA. It will only start ticking on Monday morning when the agent's shift starts. So next we have AnswerBot and automation. Here we have a screenshot of Vtiger's webpage, and we can see that we typed in info on SLA policies into the search box here. And we got a bunch of documents that popped up that your customers will be able to click on and view, which really helps reduce the support load, because a lot of the times questions that come in can be answered just by providing some quick documentation, which will allow your representatives to focus on more important matters and issues than just the simple questions that can come in. So now we're going to go through a few more slides that highlight some additional features in Vtiger that not only will benefit your customer service managers, but that our customer service managers here at Vtiger use and rely on heavily in their day-to-day management activities. So here are the key features for a customer service manager that we will be viewing in the next slides before the live demonstration. So we are going to start off talking about the dashboard and then move along to the actions page. We're going to discuss cases lists, case summary view, SLA setup, business hours setup, assignment rules, Mailroom for case creation, and lastly, the Vtiger mobile app. So I wanted to start off with a slide on Vtiger's dashboard, as this will be the default page that a customer service manager will land on after logging into Vtiger. So the dashboard allows for a customer service manager to create custom widgets and add them to your dashboard. And any shared widgets, mini lists, pin charts, and even sticky notes can be added, giving the support manager a detailed overview of everything going on with your support teams and anything that might need your attention. So here's a screenshot of the dashboard that a customer service manager can set up. You can see here that we are viewing all outstanding cases. So we can clearly see the case title, its status, the contact to whom the case is regarding, the case priority status, the SLA name, and the resolution due date and time as well. On the right-hand side here is a custom widget I created, a custom chart. And this is showing cases by created date and their status. So we can see we have one open case, 2 cases that are wait for customer, 2 cases that are wait for third party, and 2 cases that have been closed. And so the colors down here denote the date in which the case was created, and then we can see how many cases based on their status. You can also hover your mouse over any of the bars to get the same information as well, just to get a quick overview. So the dashboard is really, really great because it's customizable. So you can really add any sort of lists or charts that you find relevant or just want to be able to quickly glance at to get insight into as a customer service manager. You can see also I have my events down here. So any meetings that I have this month are clearly laid out on the dashboard. So just a great way to start your day, logging in and getting that high level overview of anything that needs your attention. So next we're going to talk about the actions page. So we have my actions, which are any overdue or upcoming tasks that are assigned to you. You have your app mentions. So for a customer service manager, anytime a user mentions you on a case or a record, whether they're escalating it or just asking for advice, they can use an app mention with your username, and then the customer service manager will be notified of that app mention, and you'll be able to collaborate with your teammates as well. You'll also be able to see any updates. So if case statuses have been changed, really any updates on the case, you'll be able to view what your users have been doing and get quick insight into all those updates. You can also see your smart alerts, and then you can configure your alert rules as well. So here's a screenshot of the actions page showing some activity alerts that a customer service manager can create. So this will help you to always stay in the loop and in tune to what needs your attention. You can see right here, we're viewing the activity alerts, and we're kind of focusing on the cases alerts here. You can toggle these alerts on and off. And then you can also decide whom to alert and the alert channels as well. So whether you want to be notified on the desktop or just get an email or both, you can really dial it in to just set your preferences for how you'd like to be notified. And you can also add alerts as well using conditions. So really anything that needs your attention, you can create an alert for just to notify you of anything that might need your attention that's urgent or in that immediate fashion. So the next few slides are going to focus on the cases module, as the cases module is central to resolving customer issues and queries quickly. So cases are any kind of customer service request. So managers can view all cases or use search filters to view cases that fall into a certain criteria. You can create lists to filter on important statuses such as priority, status, or resolution, due time, and date. Managers can also collaborate with reps or address issues using the app mentions feature, which I just mentioned earlier. And then admins can set reply to email addresses for case replies as well, which when sent to Mailroom will automatically update and attach to the relevant case. So if a customer replies to a case, it's going to automatically attach to that case and update the case as well. So in this next slide, I want to highlight how cases are created in the CRM and the overall flow of this process. So as the diagram points out, all cases start with a customer and the channel that they reach out through. So the blue boxes denote cases that are created automatically, and the red boxes denote cases that are created manually. So we can see in the two blue boxes that email sent to your support email address can be automatically forwarded to Mailroom, which will create a case automatically, and web forms, once filled out and submitted, can create cases as well. So looking at the red boxes, we have phone calls, chats, WhatsApp, and social media channels that a customer can reach out through, and then a help desk agent can manually create a case. So through both means and all channels, once a case is created, it will either be automatically assigned to agents using assignment rules, or you can manually assign to specific help desk agents who are users in the CRM. So here we have a screenshot of cases list view. So right here, we are looking at the Open L1 cases list, and we can see the created date, the case title, its status, resolution due, its priority, and who that case is assigned to. So customer service manager can just, without going into any case records, can look at the list view and get that overview they need to be able to address anything that might need attention. So you can see right here with this first one, we can see that the resolution is due in 1 hour and 47 minutes. And the case is open. So we probably want to reach out to the support agent, let them know that this needs to be resolved, and ask them if they need any assistance, etc. So here we have the cases summary view. And you can see here who the case is assigned to. We can see the priority is urgent, and we can also see right here that the SLA status has been violated, which you'll also see up in the right-hand corner here as well, with the first response due and the resolution due. They both been violated, and it tells you the amount of time it's been violated for. So since this case, the SLA was violated, we can see that the manager here has reached out to Stephen letting him know that the case is violated, and please escalate this issue and resolve it as quickly as possible. So once the manager uses this at mention, Stephen will be notified on his actions page and via email that the manager has reached out and he needs to really look into this and get this resolved. You can also see right here, we are in one view on these tabs over here. So if these tabs were expanded right here, we would be able to see any related cases, any related deals, related contacts to this case, and the related organization. So, again, it's really a great way to quickly jump into any related records to get brought to date on any issues this contact or organization has faced in the past. So next, we're going to discuss SLA policies, which will allow managers to prioritize cases automatically using SLAs. They can set first response times, set resolve within times, and managers, agents, or both can then receive SLA alerts and escalation emails. So here's a screenshot of an admin or manager setting up the SLA's first response time and resolve within time for different priority statuses. They will also have the option to set and get escalation alerts, which I'll go into further during the live demo. So we can see here the different priority statuses for this SLA policy name. And so, for example, for the urgent status, if a case is marked as urgent, we want that first response to go back to the customer within an hour. We want that case to be resolved within 5 hours. And we are going to be able to toggle on or off any alerts or escalations. So if the first response is violated, we could toggle on alerts and alerts to be notified that the first response was violated. If the resolve within was not met, we can also get escalations as well, emails and alerts letting us know that it was not resolved in time. So next we have assignment rules, which allows for a manager to automatically assign cases to members of certain groups when a case is created. So there are two different ways an admin or a manager can route these cases, and that's via round robin or least loaded. So round robin means that records will be assigned in a round robin fashion, meaning that the first save record will be assigned to the first selected member, the second record will be assigned to the second member, and so on. And so when the first round is fully complete, the assignment process starts over again and starts assigning to the first member again, then the second member, etc. And then we have least loaded records, which will be assigned to members having the least number of open records. So for example, if user 1 has 5 open records and user 2 has 10 open records, then when a new record is created and saved, the record will be assigned to the user with the least amount of records. So it would be assigned to that first user who only has 5. So here's a screenshot showing a manager choosing the round robin routing method and choosing the members of the support group to which will be assigned the cases automatically once created. So now we're going to discuss Mailroom, which is another great tool to have to automate case creation on received emails. So Mailroom automates actions on incoming emails. So you just forward your emails to Vtiger Mailroom, and then Mailroom does the rest. So you can create and update cases, which a case will be created when a new email is received from your contact. And if a contact replies to a previously open case, then the existing case will be updated and the status will be changed to open. So the representative and the managers will be able to see that case needs attention. So if you have an open case, one real great benefit of this is if you have a case that's been set to resolved and that has closed, and let's say everything's great and a month has gone by, 2 months has gone by, but then that issue has come up again with the same user. If that user replies back through that same email thread, it's going to reopen that original case back up. So the customer service representatives will be able to pick up right from where they left off. They won't need to open up a brand new case with the same issues. So really a great way to just stay organized and keep relevant data in one place with these cases. So here's a screenshot of a mailroom condition that will create or update a case from emails that are forwarded to it. So you can see the mailroom address is here. And we can see in this condition that we have the mailroom address, and then we've added in this plus case So when forwarded to Mailroom using this email address and the plus case, it will automatically create a case and then assign that case based on the assignment rules you previously set up. So the last set I have before we jump into the live demo is on Vtiger's mobile app. So Vtiger's mobile app is a wonderful tool that every customer service manager should have at their fingertips. So it allows you to stay in touch and in the loop while giving you the access you need in the CRM from wherever you are. So managers can view their actions page to review and respond to any app mentions. They can create tasks, they can update cases, respond to cases, and much, much more. So in the first shot you see is a screenshot of the dashboard of the mobile app here with all upcoming events or meetings. The next is the actions page, where this manager is viewing an app mention from one of their users. And lastly, we're seeing the cases module while using the mobile app and reviewing the activity on open cases here. So now that we've covered some of the features that are available for a customer service manager using Vtiger, let's review the scenario that we're going to run through during the demo. So during this demonstration, we are going to be logging into my Vtiger instance, and we're going to check out the dashboard. We are then going to configure business hours and assign them to a user. We're also going to configure SLA policies and set alerts and escalations. And then we're going to go into the cases module where we're going to use filters on SLA statuses and priority statuses in the list view search. We're also going to go into summary view on a case record and look at the activity section, one view, and detail view. And then we're going to use app mentions to address and discuss any issues internally with our users. We're also going to give employee feedback on a case. And then we're going to reply directly to a customer on an SLA violated case via email. So let's jump into my instance and run through this scenario. So here we are logged into my Vtiger instance, and by default, you are going to land on the dashboard page here, and we are on the support dashboard. These dashboards are all customizable, so I have some widgets put in here. You can also add new widgets, any standard widgets, mini lists, charts, and sticky notes. And you can also rearrange the dashboard as well, so you can have it laid out just the way you'd like it to focus on what's most relevant to you. So looking at the widgets I have here, here for the cases module, I have all outstanding cases. So these are going to be cases that are assigned to all or any of my users. And it's going to give me a quick overview of everything that's going on. So I can see all the cases here. I can see the title of the case, the status of the case, the contact to who's associated with this case, the priority of the case, the SL name, and resolution due time as well. Here's also a custom chart I created, which is showing the created date and statuses of all the cases. So I can quickly just view this chart and see that I have 2 open cases, 3 wait for customer cases, and 1 wait for third party case, and then the date in which those cases were created. Scrolling down, I can also quickly view any events I have going on. So all of my meetings for this month. So I can see I have a support meeting coming up, and I also have an onboarding/training coming up as well. And here on the right, I have, these are all contacts. These are my contacts, so contacts that have been assigned to me. So again, really just a great way to quickly view everything that's going on and jump into any of these records as well. So I can go straight into the record from the dashboard page here. So now let's configure some business hours for a user and assign them to a user. So I need to create these new business hours for one of my users that has recently moved to Austin, Texas, and will be working in the central time zone. So to configure business hours, we're going to want to go to the user menu here, click on the settings page, and down here under configuration, we see business hours. So let's open this up. We can see that we have 2 existing business hours. We have our support business hours and our sales hours. And looking at our support hours, which is what we're going to focus on today, we can see that the operational time zone is set for the East Coast. And these are the default business hours. So all of my users so far are working on the East Coast. So we're setting these as the default business hours but we do need to add a new or create new business hours for our user who's now working in the central time zone. So to do this, we'll click on the Add Business Hours button here, and we're going to want to name the business hours. So we'll name these Austin hours. And the operational time zone is set for Central Time here by default, so we're going to leave that as is. We're also not going to make these our default business hours because we just have one user who's working in the Central Time Zone. And now we're going to select the working days for these business hours. So we'll select a Monday through Friday work week with our start time at 9 a.m. and our end time at 5 p.m. And let's add in an interval here. So I want to add in a lunch break. And let's do this from 12 to 1, Monday through Friday. You can also add in any other intervals here or add any other working days as well. And down at the bottom, we also have any holidays or days off that this user might have. So for the sake of time, I won't be adding these in or filling these out. But again, what this is going to do is any case that's assigned to these users, the SLA is only going to run during their business hours. So it's a really great way to really dial in and satisfy all of your SLA targets by creating appropriate business hours for your users. So we'll go ahead and hit save on these business hours. And once we do that, we see our new business hours here, Austin, set to our central time zone, and they are not the default business hours. And to assign these to a user is very simple. We'll just go to user management, click on users. We'll find our user that recently moved to Austin, Texas, Mike Gordon. And we're going to click the edit button here, the edit pencil. And so now we're just going to scroll down to user business hours here, and we are going to assign the Austin business hours to this user and hit save. So now these business hours have successfully been applied to Mike Gordon. Let's go ahead and let's configure our SLA policies and set our alerts and escalation notifications. So again, we're on the settings page here. We're going to scroll down to support, and we're going to click on SLA policies. So we can see we have two SLA policies so far. We have our standard SLA for our customers, so that would be any cases, and then we have our internal SLAs for our users or internal tickets. So we can see that the different priority statuses here. For urgent, we have resolution time of 2 hours. High, we have a resolution time of 8 hours. Medium, 16, and low, 24 hours. But I want to adjust these and tweak these a little bit. So to do that, I'm just again going to click on the edit button here. And we're just going to take a quick look at what's going on. So we have our policy name, which is standard SLA, the operational hours, which are calendar hours. And these are going to be our default SLA hours moving forward. So what I want to do is we can see our priority statuses here of urgent, high, medium, and low. Our first response within times. So this means that once the case is created, we need to respond within this amount of time, and our resolve within time. So we need to resolve these cases within this amount of time here. So 2, 8, 16, and 24 hours. But what I want to do is I want to tweak this just a little bit. Actually, for our urgent cases, we have a pretty quick first response time and resolve within time. But we really, in my organization, we really only set the priority as urgent if something is really urgent. We want it resolved quickly. So we're actually going to, I want to adjust my first response within time to 30 minutes. And then that will give us an additional hour and a half to resolve this case within after our first response. We're going to keep this as resolve within 2 hours. I know that's a fast SLA resolve within time, but again, we only are assigning or setting the priority as urgent for cases that are really urgent and need immediate resolution. Next, let's just adjust the high case here, the high priority status. So let's change the first response time to 60 minutes. And let's change the resolve within time to 12 hours here as well. For our medium, we're going to keep these as is for 180 minutes and 240 minutes. But for the resolve within time here, I want to resolve my medium cases within 24 hours. And then I want to say set our resolve within time for our low priority statuses. We're actually going to do days for this one. So we have the options of setting days, minutes, or hours. So for this one, I'm going to select 3 days. Next, I want to set our alerts and escalations. So I'm only going to set alerts and escalations for enabling both of them for our urgent priorities and our high priorities. So I'm going to set alerts and escalations, and then just for our medium and low, I just want to set alerts. And what that does by checking these checkboxes is it opens up these options down here to configure email alerts before a violation occurs and configure escalation emails on a violation. So first, let's set up our email alerts before a violation. So what I want to do here is I want to add in the users who get these email alerts. So I want it to be the assigned to user. So that's the user to whom the case is assigned to, and to myself, who is the customer service manager. And I want to receive these emails 30 minutes before the SLA violation occurs. And then the last thing I need to do is select an email template. So I've already created some email templates for the SLA before a violation. So this is going to give me some good details on the case, any links directly to the case record. And these will again be sent to the user to whom the case is assigned to, and to myself 30 minutes before the SLA violation occurs. Next, I want to configure escalations emails on a violation. So for this, I just want to send these to myself, the customer service manager. And I want to say if the case is not resolved 30 minutes after the violation has happened, then I want to receive this email alert. So the last thing I need to do is select an email template for the escalation emails on a violation. So we'll choose this email template after violation, SLA after violation, and set it there. So we are all set. We have adjusted our SLA targets, and we've set up our alerts and escalations as well. So let's go ahead and hit save. And now we can see that the different priority statuses, the hours and minutes of resolution, have been adjusted. We can see urgent is now 2, high is now 12 hours, medium is 24, and low is 3 days. So now that we've done that, let's jump into the cases module, and let's take a look back at the case that was urgent that we saw in our dashboard earlier. So to get to the cases module, we're going to click on the main menu button up here. We're going to scroll down to support, and we're going to click on cases here. And this will bring us to, by default, it's going to go to my open cases, which I don't have any cases assigned to me. So I'm going to go to all cases, which is going to look at all the ongoing cases or any cases that have been resolved as well. So right off the bat, in list view here, I can see a couple things going on. I can see a bunch of different columns here with the resolution time, due time, a status, case title, priority, who the case is assigned to, the group it's assigned to, and the contact name as well. And these columns are customizable. You can rearrange them or add in additional columns with any fields that you feel is relevant that you want to see in this list view here. You can also use our list view search to filter on certain criteria. So for example, if we just want to focus on our open cases, we can click on just open cases. Or if we just want to focus on wait for third-party cases, we can focus on those and use the list search. We can also use the list filters to search based on the priority. So if we just want to look at urgent cases or high cases, et cetera, it's a really great way to just sort of, pinpoint what you're looking for. So right now we're just going to focus on any urgent cases, which is going to bring up this one case here, which I can see that the SLA has been violated on this and the case is open. So I want to open up this case record and go into it and see what's going on. Okay, so we can see here the case is assigned to Mike Gordon, one of our users. The contact is Ernie Anastasio. case priority is urgent. And we can see that the resolution has been violated. So let's first, before we go into actually what's going on with the case, let me just show you a few things that we can see in summary view here on the case record. So the first is our calculus overview, which will show you when the first response was due and when the resolution was due and whether it's been violated. And this is in the one view section here. And scrolling down, we can also see any related cases related to this contact. So really great way to check out any existing issues or issues that have happened previously with those customers to get insight to see if any cases that you're focusing on are relevant to any previous cases as well. We can also look at any deals and the contact record itself to who's associated with this case. And that's all in one view here. We can also look at the details section, which is going to be all of the fields in the cases module. And so you can actually edit any of these right from this detail view here, or you can open this up to fully go into all the fields on the case as well, where you can make any edits or add any information that you need into any of the fields. So going back to the case itself, let's look at the activity section. So this is going to be all of the emails back and forth between the customer and your users. And you can use your filters here to really dial in on what you're looking for. If you only want to see emails that have gone back and forth, you can click on emails only. Or if you want to see internal comments, only comments, you can click only, or we can select a few different things at once to see all of the related activities. So for this one, let's keep it on internal comments, emails, and any updates that have happened on this case. So by doing so, if we scroll all the way down to the bottom here, we can see when this case was first created, and it was created by Mailroom 4 hours ago. We can see that the assigned to changed from none to Mike Gordon, so it was automatically assigned to Mike Gordon. And then we can see here our customer's initial email where he says that he needs assistance immediately. One of his users deleted all of his contacts' email addresses, and could you please help him in recovering the data as soon as possible? So I actually saw this case come in and I changed the status from medium to urgent. And then I reached out to Mike Gordon using an app mention where I asked him to please handle this case right away. This issue is urgent and needs immediate attention and resolution. I can see that it took Mike a little while to pick up this case, and where he changed it from open to wait for customer was 2 hours ago. So this is when the first response happened. And let's go ahead and take a look at what he said to the customer. So here is Mike's response to Ernie's initial email, where he thanks Ernie for reaching out and asked when the user deleted the data. And he said that we take a backup every day at 1 a.m. Eastern time, and we could restore the data from that backup. Please confirm if you'd like us to proceed with that backup. I can see that Mike also mentioned me, saying that he's followed up with Ernie and asked if he'd like to proceed with restoring the data from the backup that was taken this morning. And then we'll scroll back up here. And we can see that Mailroom received an email from Ernie again on the updates. And let's look at what Ernie said, where he's saying to please proceed with restoring the data from the backup as soon as possible. But that was 2 hours ago. And we can see up here in one view that the actual resolution time has been violated. So this is not a good thing. We need to immediately kind of check in on Mike and also respond to this customer to help get a resolution quickly as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to reach out to Ernie here. Actually, I'm going to respond to Mike first and use an at mention. So I'm going to post a comment for Mike. And by just hitting the at symbol, it's going to bring up all my users. I want to mention Mike Gordon. And I'm going to tell him that I've responded to Ernie, and that if Ernie has any questions, to please come back and follow up with Ernie. So I've responded to Ernie, restoring the data for his account in the next 15 minutes. Please verify with Ernie that everything was restored successfully and answer any questions or concerns that he may have. So once I hit comment here, this is going to send a notification to Mike both on his desktop and email, depending how Mike has that set up. And now what I want to do is I actually want to respond to Ernie directly, since Mike has not responded in a while, and resolve this case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click reply, which is going to pull up Ernie Anastasio and his email address here. And I'm going to type an email to Ernie. So I am just going to copy paste here for the sake of time. So I basically am saying to Ernie, I apologize for the delay in restoring your data from the backup taken this morning. Team is working on this now, and we're going to restore your data within the next 15 minutes. Please let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'm going to go ahead and send this email. And I'm going to, when I send it, it's going to prompt, bring up this little pop-up, which is going to prompt me to select the status of the case. So it's no longer open. So I'm actually, instead of resolving this case directly, I'm going to wait for the customer just to make sure that he's satisfied and that everything was restored correctly. So we're going to select wait for customer, and we're going to hit save. Once hitting save, it's going to send the email to Ernie, which is in queued status now, so it should send in a few seconds. And the last thing I'm going to do is I am going to give some feedback to Mike on this case. So going back into the detail section, let's open this up full screen here. And I'm actually going to scroll down here. I created a custom block called review. So in this custom block, I can select who the case was reviewed by, give the case a rating, and also give my comments to Mike on how he handled this case. So first, I'm going to select reviewed by, which is going to be me, Josh Rich, the customer service manager. And I'm going to give this a rating. And so since the first response time was violated and the SLA time was violated, and the rating is 1 through 5, I'm going to give this a rating of 1. So that's a really poor rating. This could have been handled much better and could have been resolved much quicker by Mike, which could have been handled much quicker by Mike, so that he'll know in the future he needs to do this. So I'm just going to add in a quick comment here for Mike, and again, going to copy paste here. So I say, Mike, I can see that the first response and SLA were violated. Please ensure that this does not happen again. By hitting save here, that's going to save on the case record itself. We can see my comments, who it was reviewed by, and the case rating. So Mike will be able to view this as well, which will, prompt him to do better in the future, but also just give any feedback as well. If there are any other additional suggestions I could put it in the reviewer comments. If there are any solutions that Mike might not have been aware about, I can add that as well. So a good way for Mike to come back and review his comments made by the reviewer. So that's going to wrap things up for this live demo here. Let's jump back into a few more slides before we wrap up this webinar. So just to recap, this slide highlights some of the help desk features in Vtiger CRM that we covered today, and some that we'll cover in the future, such as SLA and business hours, our customer portal, insights, user management, chat box and automation, and multi-channel management, which when utilized at the end of the day will lead to the most important thing, which is happy customers. So a CRM and Vtiger CRM can really help simplify multiple facets of your company while helping to automate repetitive tasks. And so we'd really love to hear from you and let us know what you'd like to see covered next in a webinar. But as you can see on the right-hand side here, there's just so many things that we can do with a CRM to help you simplify and automate repetitive tasks as well. So thank you very much for joining us. If you do have any questions, please reach out to us. You can go directly to our website where you'll see our live chat as well. You can send an email to support@vtiger.com. So we look forward to answering any of your questions and also hearing what you'd like to see next for a webinar. So thank you again for joining. We appreciate it, and we hope you have a good day.